And what I mean is, take your calculator and just type in 76 over 360. 76 divided by 360. Your calculator might give you a decimal, it might give you a fraction. It does not matter. But right now, you have something pressed in your calculator that is an answer. You know that you have to take the other side and divide it by whatever crummy number that is, correct? So now all I have to do is just type in 7.5 divided by your crummy answer. Gives your circumference. It's another way of doing that so that way you don't screw up the whole reciprocal thing. It's another way of doing it so you don't screw up when you had to divide by 2 pi, because I know sometimes you guys forget to put parentheses around things. It's just another way to do it to make it easier on you. Okay? Does that help a little bit? So my answer here would be 3553 when I round to 2 decimal places. Now if you look at 23, same basic idea. 23, it's asking you to find the radius. The radius, well, that's the first formula. Central angle over 360 times 2 pi r. R stands for radius, not arrivederci.
Not what?
Arrivederci. Goodbye. Italian, I believe. Arrivederci.
It's a long way. You just say, oh, you have to say.
How about dirty Reba? It sounds bad. Anyway, hey, it's a good thing you found your stuff.
Sweet that you could hide it.
I didn't hide it from you. I moved it. No, you walked right by it on the way out the door. You were just still sleeping. Anyway, write it out. Arc length is angle over 360 times 2 pi r. We know everything except for the r. So we fill in the blanks. 39.95 or 38.95 is 260 over 360 times 2 pi times the radius. Now, if I do it the same shortcut, or not, I wouldn't say shortcut, but the same calculator-based way that I did the last one, what I would do in my calculator is just type in that. I type that into my calculator first. 260 over 360 times 2 pi. Excuse me. And once again, you have some crummy number. That crummy number has to equal 38.95. Or I'm sorry, that crummy number times the radius equals 38.95. Which means, to move it, you would divide by it. So all I have to do now that this was the last number that was set into my calculator is type in that 38.95 divided by my answer. And there's my radius. 8.58. Okay. When you do it that way, you are alleviating the issues of sometimes when you retype something. By moving that over, you'd have 38.95. You multiply it by 360 over 260 times 2 pi. A lot of times when you put that in your denominator, you forget parentheses, you don't use the fraction bar, something along those lines, okay? So that's why we want to make sure that we use that answer button and it's easier on you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
What's wrong, Tope? What's up? She's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Did you just, me? Yeah, dumbest song ever made. There's a great commercial though that's similar to that. I'll show you guys some point in time. What's that?
You never do.
I do. I show you things. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You never know. Depends if I'm in a giving mood.
Do you do that to your children too?
No, but
Yeah, sure. We can see it later, 4 years later.
yeah, they'll go to therapy over the rest of their lives, right? Anything else on this? All right. Oh, yeah, what do you got, Doug? 21. They're trying to find the measure of the arc. It's the same thing as the angle. Okay. Let's set it up the same way. So in 21, they're asking you to find the arc.
Oh, God.
They're trying to find the measure of the arc. Ladies and gentlemen, they're asking you to find the measure of the arc. Measure of the arc is the same thing as the measure of the central angle. So we need to find the central angle of AB. So we go through and write it out. We know that arc length is our angle over 360 times 2 pi r. And the reason why I'm using that one is because I have my radius at 10. I fill in everything else. What's wrong?
Which number is this?
21.
Thank you. You yelled at so much.
You do. I didn't do anything to her. Nice to her. So I'm going to do this in 2 steps. In order for me to figure out the radius, obviously I've got the angle divided by 360, and then it's multiplied by 20 pi. You okay with that?
Yeah.
So in this case here, it's probably going to be easier to do this in 2 steps as opposed to trying to put it all together. That way you don't get screwed up by all the fractions. So how do you undo divide by 360? Multiply. So in my calculator way, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take 360 times the 8.73, and that's going to equal some angle times 20 pi. We'll start with that. So 360 times 8.73 gives me some crummy number. That number equals 20 pi times my angle. How do you undo multiply? Divide. Now is when you have to use, when you divide it, you have to make sure you put that in parentheses. You have to group the pi in parentheses, otherwise the calculator will divide by 20 and then multiply by pi. It doesn't know what you are doing until you are specific with it as you throw it in the calculator with the parentheses of the grouping symbols. Hit enter and you're going to get 40 something maybe? That was close. 50.02. All right. Excuse me.
Can you just over number 8 out? We got it right.
Go over number 8? All right. Hi! All right, go over number 8. I'm over number 8.
Can you just
You asked me to go over number 8. I'm over number 8.
Come on. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Whatever. What did 8 look like? I seem to forget. Because I'm looking at my chemistry.
How do you feel in there, Harvey?
I'm fine. You? I'm actually feeling rather healthy lately.
I don't
It's gonna be the cleanest spot on the floor.
I didn't even just like grab this one. I took like this one.
See, it's all good. It's just faintly there. Ah, whatever. It's all good. So,
Did I do it right? Do it.
circle.
Why are you doing it on her?
Why not?
That is so bad.
It's a square. So if the circle fits in the square, and the square has a side length of 14, square, circle. What's the diameter of the circle that fits in the square?
14.
What's the circumference if the diameter is 14? Formula. Circumference is what?
Oh, angle over 360. Okay.
Circumference.
That's a great word of geography.
Not like I'm asking much here. Now this will be the cleanest desk that we have. What's circumference? Circumference, 2 pi r. Circumference, pi times diameter. So, if said diameter is 14, its circumference is? You're right. Visual aids are fun.
It's yours.
Make sure your name's on it, set it up, and let's talk about perimeters and things and stuff. I hear you. Crazy children. You're basically going to look at what are called composite shapes. Composite shapes are just shapes made up of more shape, or more than one shape, really. So as you get into this, let's put away the pi numbers. I talked about this yesterday. Okay, this if you earn a point, great. I mean, it's not like it's going to swing your grade a letter grade. Doing well on quizzes and tests, swing your grades letter grades. Just a little just remembrance here. What you're looking at now is you're going to start trying to figure out where do the shapes, or what makes up the shaded region. How is it created? Well, this one's pretty easy because you see that you've got your two flat sides. And remember, when you have a flat side on an object, you can basically take a tape measure to it. So if I add up the two sides that are flat, that are covered by the blue, it would be 13 plus 13. I know I'm asking a lot here. What's 13 plus 13? Okay. The next then is that you have to figure out how to count the curves. Well, the curves, if you look at it, there are two of them. The two curves create a circle. The circle in this example has a diameter of what? 6. If the circle has a diameter of 6, that means the distance around the circle is how much? Huh? Bigger than 6. Yes, you're sitting too close to somebody in the front row who's a smart aleck. Remember, and this is for some odd reason, you guys, actually all the classes today have decided that they wanted to brain fart away what circumference means. Circumference is the distance around the circle. It is found one of two ways. 2 times pi times r, or pi times the diameter. In this instance, we have the diameter. Well, if the diameter is 6, I know, that means the circumference is going to be 6 times what? Pi. What's that? So you add to this 6 pi. Now that means that, does that mean that my answer is 32 pi for the total distance? No, why? They're not the same, it's kind of right. I can't add 26 to a 6 pi because of the same basic rules of combining like terms. When you combine like terms, you have to have the same variable with the same exponent and things like that. In this case, you have a number, 26. The other one is 6 times pi. I think it was like 6x. You can't combine them. You treat pi, when you're combining stuff, the exact same way as you would any other variable. It's just a symbol for an, I wouldn't say a number, it's a symbol for a value. So you treat it the same way. Next year, you guys will have symbols for imaginary numbers. You'll have symbols, we use symbols with square roots. We do all that kind of stuff. So it's just a matter of how you combine like terms is all the same. So my answer, if I can ask for an answer one of 3 ways. One of the ways would be how it's written right now. That's called an exact answer. Exact answers have pi in it. Just like exact answers before had radicals in them. Just like next year, exact answers will have radicals and imaginary numbers in them. You don't get decimals. I could ask you to round this to the nearest foot. Well, if I had to round that to the nearest foot, I'd have to then use my calculator, which means you just press some buttons and remember how to round that. Get it? Get it round the circle? It's 26 and 6. So you have a decimal of 4485, but if I want to go to the nearest foot, it would be 45. If I wanted to go to the nearest hundredth, it would be 4485. Those are the one of the 3 ways that I would ask you guys to write that answer out. This was exact, nearest foot, or it could be nearest foot, nearest inch, whatever the units might be. If I did nearest foot off of that, it would have been 45. And if I said to the hundredth, so there's basically 3 ways that I can ask you guys to round. Exact, nearest foot, or hundredth. And that's about as complicated as I make these things. Or try to. Okay? Not terrible? Alright, no. And these shape ones like this really aren't all that bad. It's just a matter of understanding how much of the circle you are using. Sometimes are you using the whole circle to get around, or are you using just part of the circle, things like that. Let's try another one. When I get into one like this, obviously we're talking about finding the perimeter of the blue shaded region. What's up? Oh, yeah, I thought you were half-heartedly about to ask a question. Well, I wholeheartedly endorse that. In this example, you'll notice that you've got a rectangle with side lengths, or one side length is going to be 9. What's the other side length? 3, good, because the 3 is playing the role of a radius in this case. The shaded chunk is in the middle, But it's nice is that they give you the values of the flat part of the shaded region of 6 and 6. So it's a tough one. 6 plus 6. 12. All right, see? Little bits of math we can do. 6 plus 6. We didn't even need we didn't even need to take off a shoe to count that high. You guys, you're proud. I'm proud of you. Unless you have 6 fingers. Do you have 6 fingers?
Only 6? You need 6 on each finger.
Well, I have 6 fingers. I was using 2 hands showing that. So it was implied. That time was probably your finger. But you only have 5 of them, so it wasn't the 6th
No,
one.
my eye hurts.
Would you like me to step on your foot? And you won't worry about your eye.
You know what?
Would you like to?
Just teach them.
Would you like to grab the password after the mirror?
Yeah, please.
Go ahead. Never said I was the nicest person. I am a nice person, but just kind of a doofus. So I have part of it is 12. That's the easy part. Next part, we have to figure out how much of the curve are we using. Well, we have 90 degrees of the curve here. And then I have 90 degrees of the curve here. Well, let's make this work. I don't know about you, but when I put two 90-degree curves together, I get a semicircle, which is how much of the circle? It's half. Yes, it's 180 degrees, okay? So I know that this creates a semicircle. I have the 180 degrees. So the arc length that's created, the distance on the circle, uses the central angle of 180 degrees. Now, it being 180 degrees, that means we know that it is half of the circle. Well, if it's half the circle, wouldn't it just be half of the circumference?
Yeah.
So you can do this one of two ways. The radius is given to you at 3. If the radius is 3, what's the circumference? How much? Let's try this again. I have the formula for circumference. Did you need a calculator for that? The radius is 3. The circumference of the entire circle would be 6 pi. This being a semicircle means half of that would be half of 6, 3. Okay? That's one way to use your brain. Otherwise, don't use your brain and use the formula. 180 over 360 times 2 times 3 times pi.
I wouldn't have.
180 over 360, we know, is a half, right? What's half of 2? 1 times 3? 3 times pi.
Yay!
Same thing. Once again, exact answer, 12 plus 3 pi. Yes, ma'am? Decimal, whatever, you just press buttons on the calculator and go. I know that there are times that if you type in 3 plus 12, or I'm sorry, 12 plus 3 pi, it might just kick out an answer of 12 plus 3 pi. It might not give you a decimal. Do you remember how to get the decimal equivalent in case that ever does happen?
The little arrows.
Yeah, remember the double arrow will always convert anything that you have that looks exact into its into the crummy decimal. Just a little remembrance of that.
I can still see the 8 on the board.
I don't remember where I wrote it. Oh yeah, there it is. That's all right. There's a big dent in the floor from over here for me too.
From what?
Throwing stuff at her brother.
A dent on the floor.
There's a chunk out of the floor somewhere around here. I don't remember. It's somewhere around here. Oh,
Is it there?
ah, so. All right. Take a minute. Let's see if you can figure this one out.
Let me get there.
No, that's just the chair exposure. Actually, there is a chunk of floor. That's this. This is dead spot. I don't know. See if you can figure this one out. Take a couple minutes, see if you can. Okay, add them up, and you get,
Oh, straight.
well, so again, we have 12 plus something. Well, if you look at your three angles going around, the three arcs going around, you've got 120, 120, 120. Put that together, and what do you get? 360. So technically, you do go around a circle. Well, you just have to figure out what your radius is of the circle. So when you look at this here, they're showing that this 4 value is from
You missed goal. You had 10 minutes.
there you
Oh
go.
my goodness.
What is happening? I don't know.
I don't know, I've lost it. Anyway, so as you see, that 4 is playing the role of a, no, think about it in terms of the circle. What's it playing the role of?
Radius.
No, it's not the radius. It's connecting two radii,
I'm confused.
diameter. It's not the radius. It's connecting two radii.
Oh, I wasn't looking at that right.
That's the tricky one. Some of these things are just kind of difficult. It's tough to see how it goes. So in this case here, that 4 is a diameter. If 4 is your diameter, what's the circumference?
4 pi.
4 pi. So there's your exact. Yep. That gives you your exact. I think I only have one more. Actually, it's 2. All right, take a second and do these 2. Then I'll give you some review problems. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Depends if I put it on there.
You're gonna, aren't you?
I don't know. Have we got that far?
Will the verb be think really, really hard for a minute? Do you think it will be?
I don't know.
Maybe this could be the